Hello, welcome to a new episode of PARANORMASIGHT, and we are going to Haruhi Shigima after a long time with the chapter Life Can Be Tough, right? Throughout the night, Richter continues to gather information about the curse stones while Haruhi lies awake until dawn, preoccupied by the prospect of bringing her lost child back to life. 10 a.m. Shigima Mansion. Good morning, ma'am. How are you feeling? I'm fine. I hope we can make good progress today. How's your curse stone looking? I haven't felt anything from it since sunrise. Interesting. It's possible that its power can only be unleashed at night then. That aside, why are you so late this morning? There are unfortunately some things that can't be investigated while the world slumbers. But I did get some research done in what limited time I had. Very well, let's talk. Surroundings. The town is beginning to wake up once more. The clamor of society can be heard from beyond the garden gates. Like any day, a cloud of pollution drifts out from the industrial area. Is there any bird? Mansion. This is the old mansion where I was born and raised. Entrance. No one's in the mansion at the moment. The door has been locked shut. The housekeeper has already left after cleaning and preparing food. I don't think there's a bird. We may be surrounded by curses and death, but it matters little. My only concern is whether I can see my child again. He's looking a bit tired. He must have been up all night investigating. Well, let's talk to him. By the way, there's something I wanted to talk to you about. And what's that? Our current plan is to steal a curse stone that's already absorbed Soldrex, but I'm wondering if it would suffice to not steal, but instead negotiate with the curse bearer and have them use the right for our purposes. Oh, I mean, I suppose that would accomplish the same, but do you think it's possible? So long as we offer compensation, it may prove much easier than you'd expect. Compensation? Cash, for instance. That wouldn't be off the table for a family as rich as the Shigimas, would it? Of course. Why, any amount would be fine if it would get the job done. I won't let monetary matters lead me to regrets the way it did back with the ransom. Okay, with that option on the table, let's figure out our strategy. About the curse bearers, do you have a curse bearer with whom we can negotiate in mind? Not yet. Surprisingly, it seems the other curse bearers haven't been that proactive about collecting Soldrex. Did you see the news this morning? No, I haven't. Overnight, 3 mysterious deaths were reported in this area. They've yet to announce the identities of the bodies found, but they've been nicknamed the Honjo serial killings. It's garnered quite some attention on the streets. Oh my. Only 3? Only. Okay. That's what I thought. Even if the victims were curse bearers, just 1 or 2 wouldn't be enough Soldrex. And for what those curse stones are capable of, a mere 3 victims seems a little on the low side. With this little activity all through the night, the curse bearers must be a cautious bunch. What's holding them back? Are we not all after the power of resurrection? There may still be some undiscovered victims, but it doesn't seem like anyone has gathered enough Soldrex yet. We might have to set up some bait to spur them into action, and then we offer them the deal. About the curse bearers again. None of the curse bearers seem very proactive. I wonder if this situation could be what the mastermind who kicked it all off intended. Now that's an interesting theory. You think there's someone behind this all? You mentioned hearing an agonized voice telling you to kill when you first obtained the curse stone. That doesn't sound like a coincidence to me. Someone agitated the curses in this area on purpose, and they are likely after the right of resurrection as well. So you're thinking this person is not one of the curse bearers. You've got a sharp mind, ma'am. Though it might seem obvious for the mastermind to become a curse bearer and collect soul drakes if they were after the right. This would be very risky, since as a curse bearer they themselves would become a target. So it would actually be more convenient for them if the curse bearers moved less aggressively. That's right. But despite that, they've been inciting the curse bearers to commit murders. Why? Let's consider this. What if the mastermind isn't trying to collect soul drakes themselves? You mean their intention was also to steal the souls while the other curse bearers compete with each other from the start? Sitting back and observing from the sidelines is the safer course of action, which is why I figured it best for us to attempt the same strategy. So how should we do it? There's still reason to suspect the mastermind could be a curse bearer themselves. To be honest, I want to keep my distance from whoever it is. There's no telling what kind of power they might possess. Whether our aim is to negotiate or steal, we'll have to outpace the mastermind in making contact with the other curse bearers. How do you suppose we do so? At this point, all we can do is search. If there's a mastermind inciting the curse bearers to collect soul drakes, can we be sure there even is a right of resurrection? Good question. The right could be nothing but a myth fabricated to spur the curse bearers into action. Seeing it might be for naught, do you want to give up, ma'am? Never. Understood. After all, we've never know the truth unless we see it for ourselves. But we'll do it without using the curse ourselves. By the way, I met a few people who seemed like potential curse bearers last night. I did some investigating into all of them, but I only managed to get detailed information on 2. You're quick. I suppose that's to be expected from an investigator extraordinaire. I appreciate the flattery. First, there's Aya Metono, the girl we talked to before, though she isn't a curse bearer herself. She's a student attending T University of Art. She currently lives alone in an apartment near Midoricho Park. You even determined her address? You're not one to be underestimated, Mr. Investigator Extraordinaire. I called every single university with ukiyo-e in the curriculum pretending to be her parent. I went around to check on her place on the way here. It doesn't seem like she returned home last night. I'm worried she might have run into some trouble. Didn't you attempt to follow her last night? I'm embarrassed to say, but I couldn't. She shook me. I couldn't keep track of her. And here I thought you were an investigator. You were an investigator extraordinaire. I'd like to learn more about her, but it would take some time. She's planning to steal the curse stones, just like us. It's best we act carefully around her. Next is the tall man who was dressed in black. I met him near Kinshicho. He stood out with the way he dressed. I managed to get some good information from him. Impressive. What can I say? He works as the secretary to Hihaku Soap's chairwoman. I believe his name is Takumi Yumioka. The Hihaku Soap's headquarters and factories are both located in Honjo, correct? Yes, they've been here for a while, but it's only in the past 10 years that the company has shown significant growth. I remember seeing the chairwoman on the news a few years back. She seemed to be very shrewd. With the increase in sales, I assume she'd want her factories running at full capacity. But with the harsh restrictions against industrial waste, a lot of the factories with old equipment had to be shut down. That's right, even 10 years ago there were many complaints about chemical plants dumping waste into the river. Most companies back then were more concerned with making profit than protecting the environment. I wonder what a man working for such a company would have been up to in the middle of the night. On the way here I stopped by the company's headquarters, but they hadn't started for the day. I should have better luck later. Let's hope you will. Perhaps they're interested in seeing if the right would be beneficial for their product research into beauty and skincare. Ha, now that's an interesting thought. About the curse bearers again. I ran into one more suspicious young man last night. This one seemed to be out collecting soul drakes, right? Indeed, I couldn't get a good look at him though, and I couldn't gather enough intel to properly identify him. Well, that's a shame, but I can make an educated guess. Oh? You know that researcher who discovered the ancient text on the Rite of Resurrection? The one that lives here, near here? His name is Hideki Araishi, and the man I met was very similar in stature. Oh my, even he's involved? How awfully suspect. Considering his background, couldn't he be the one who initiated the whole affair? I think it's possible, yes. Which is why I decided to refrain from making contact with him for the time being. Safety first. Understandable. Of course, I want to learn more, but this isn't the right time to focus on him. I prefer to ascertain who else is a curse bearer. First, I'll return to Hihaku Soaps to see that man in black. The headquarters are down on South Warigesui Street. About the kidnapping. I learned something new about the criminal involved with the kidnapping. It concerns the serial killings. There was a body found at Komagata High School. The person was identified as a school teacher. His name was Kohei Jonoichi. Do you think he was a curse bearer? Not sure, it's possible. But regardless, this means the two people who knew the truth about the kidnapping are both dead. Just when we were getting somewhere. It isn't enough to make me give up, of course. Still, we don't know anything about Michio Shiraishi's residence. It would be wise to pay it a visit. Understood. About the serial killings. In addition to the 3 victims associated with the Honjo serial killings, there's Michio Shiraishi, who reportedly committed suicide, and the police officer who died at the former Yasura Gardens. If strange deaths continue occurring like so, they're bound to inspire strange rumors. But those last 2 have nothing to do with the 7 mysteries, no? It's true, both occurred a week before this accursed situation began. Still, it cannot be ruled out. It's possible that the mastermind was involved even with those killings. How? What if there were preliminary steps to awakening the 7 mysteries curses? Can we really assume they're unrelated just because the timing doesn't match up? Or rather, the police officer's death is so baffling that it would be easier if it were connected to these curses. The victim wasn't the type to be caught off guard easily. You seem to know a lot about this. I suppose we weren't strangers. My personal feelings might be wrapped up in this one too. I see. If you were to investigate this matter more, you might get a lead on the mastermind. You're right. If we wish to focus on the mastermind's identity, this would be a fine starting point. We might even discover more deaths related to the curses on the way. We should pay attention to today's news. Well, that's all I have to report. Shall we continue with our investigation? What do you want to do? If you still can't use the curse stone, taking a walk should be a fine place to start. Right, let's go together. I want to see what's going on for myself. In that case, I trust you decide where we should go, ma'am. The entrance. No. Where should I go to begin my search? Which places have stood out to me most so far? Okay, now we can use the move button to Milricho Park, to South Warigesui Street and Komagata High School. Let's go here. Milricho Park. We're here. This is Midoricho Park. Ayame Tono lives around here. She was in an apartment when I dropped by this morning. I wonder if it's worth checking again. It seems picking up Ayame Stray is out of the question for now. Why did we even come here? Oh my goodness! Is this... Oh my holy moly! Oh, good going, ma'am! You found haiku! That's a rare one! Is it now? Oh my god, Mockingbird number 7! Oh, this is exhilarating. It's a pigeon, but with a jacket and a headband, and he has like a purple a banner. And anyway, it's haiku. It's like the boss of the Sparrow Bros. Oh my, it's difficult to express how joyous I am to. Oh my goodness. This place is connected with the story of the Tiger of Tsugaru. Not only that, Katsushika Hokusai's home was also in this area. That might be why Ayame chose to live here. Right. Midoricho Park. A small park bordering South Warigisui Street, sporting a mixture of cherry and evergreen trees. Although unremarkable in most respects, its small playground always attracts a number of children come evening. While no trace remains in the modern day, it stands on what was once the site of the Tsugaru estate. The legendary artist Katsushika Hokusai is also believed to have been born in the vicinity. Is there something else we can check about? I don't think so. It's always heartwarming to see children playing in the park. Richter seems to like it, perhaps because they are on the same wavelength. Okay. Okay. We won't get much done standing around here. Why don't I go and check out Ayame's apartment? You don't mean to speak with her, do you? No, I'd prefer to get an idea of what she's been up to. I'd like to see whether she's been home or not, just to potentially get a trace on her movements. Then be my guest. Okay, I shouldn't be long. I'm back, ma'am. So, nothing? I'm afraid so. She still hasn't returned. However, I noticed a few people who seem to be related to the police force keeping watch in the area. I don't know if they got eyes on her apartment, but they do appear to be watching the building it's in. Interesting. We've got a sharp eye to have noticed them despite them being so covered. What can I say? It's part of the job. However, it meant I had to refrain from knocking on the door or looking through her windows. I wasn't able to check her electric meter or mailbox either, unfortunately. You were planning to go that far? We won't make much progress taking around here. Yeah. What a waste of time. We should move on quickly. What a waste of time. We found the Haikyuu rare mockingbird sticker, woman. What are you thinking? South Warigisui Street. Oh yeah, this is Hihaku Soap headquarters. Yeah, see? The Hihaku Soap's headquarters are on the other side of South Warigisui Street. Where they were closed when I visited this morning, but appears things are up and running now. Think. So, an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially a curse bearer. Richter proposed we use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but we could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. Surroundings. Back in the Edo period, the canal known as South Warigisui ran through this area, but it's been turned to major road. It's a bit away from Kinshicho Station or Ryogoko Station, though it's still considered a nice area. The stories of the overburning lantern and the foot-washing mansion both took place around here. One of the bodies discovered this morning was found by this road as well. This is quite a lively area, huh? I suppose you could call it somewhat of a city center. The South Warigisui Street. Warigisui, literally a partitioning ditch, refers to a waterway dug down the middle of a road so as to divide it. At the dawn of the Edo period, the Honjo district was little more than a collection of suburban rice farms. As the area became more developed, the South Warigisui was excavated in order to drain rainwater into the Yoko Jiken River to the east. though it served the people long and faithfully, was unconverted into an underground culvert at the beginning of the Showa era. In the present, no trace of it remains on the surface, but the street that bears its name. Right. Hihaku Soap's office building. To think a small soap-making company could grow so much in such a short time. They have factories and warehouses throughout the area now. You can see why director and now chairwoman Natsue Yamamori is called the queen. Another file, Hihaku Soaps, with a very lovely logo. A chemical producer that ranks 4th largest in the domestic detergent market and 7th largest in the cosmetic markets. From its humble beginnings as a small soap factory established after the war in 1946, founder Natsue Yamamori utilized her feminine perspective and a well-timed economic boom to boldly lead the company into new markets. Even as the market grew crowded with the industrialization of Sumida City, the company continued to expand, digging its roots deep into the area. In particular, it established itself as a household name by focusing its branding toward the rapidly expanding convenience store market. Its flagship products now include cosmetics, detergent, soap, shampoo, and more. The company's name Hihaku can also refer to kasuri, a type of patterned fabric. Right. And persons of interest updated. Natsue Yamamori. Company chairwoman. I think we didn't see her so far. Natsue is the former president of Hihaku Soaps, a large chemicals company. Though she retired from a position 2 years ago, she still wields a great influence over the company from a position of chairwoman. Recently, there have been rumors about her possessing strange and powerful magical abilities, earning her the nickname the Witch of Hihaku. Okay. Prior to the war, Natsue enjoyed working her dream job at a textile factory. She was forced to face the bitter reality of the world, however, when the factory was destroyed by a fire during the war, and she was ordered to rework the fabrics she had painstakingly crafted into something more suitable for blue-collar work. Witnessing the rise in popularity of Western-style clothing in the post-war period, Natsue left the textile industry. However, a nod to her past can be seen in the company's name, with Hihaku being another name for kasuri, a type of fabric featuring patterns and images woven with dyed fibers. Having long been dissatisfied with the soap supplied at the textile factory, Natsue saw a business opportunity and set up her own small soap factory. Taking inspiration from imported soap brands, she developed new products which quickly gained a good reputation. Ever the shrewd businesswoman, Natsue ran an aggressive promotional campaign on TV featuring a popular Japanese singer, rapidly turning Hihaku Soaps into a household name. Okay. You mentioned that Takumi works as her secretary. That's correct. Do you think it's possible he is acting on her orders? That's exactly my thinking. A curse bearer with both money and power could certainly look at resurrection as their next prize. Negotiating with a person of that stature may prove difficult. I can click it again. Business is up and running. I can see people inside the reception area. Business is up and running, okay. He tells me he barely slept last night, and yet he seems to be brimming with energy. Was I too that resilient at his age? Perhaps it's what sets apart a detective from the rest. So, an influential person at Hihaku Soaps is potentially curse-bearer. Richter proposed we use money to negotiate for the curse stones, but he could hardly outbid a large corporation if it came down to it. Yeah, right. We already checked this. Okay, let's talk to Richter directly. First, I need to confirm whether Takumi is the man I ran into last night. Then I'll be able to determine if he's a curse bearer. It will be better if I go inside the headquarters alone. You should walk around, visit a cafe for some tea perhaps. It will be better if I go inside there alone. You should to a cafe or perhaps. Okay. I'm going to go in. I may be a while so So feel to find somewhere to kill time. Jesus Christ. Okay, good luck in there. Sorry to keep you waiting. How did it go? I'll fast forward to the conclusion I met with Takumi. There's no doubt he's the same man I saw last night, but it doesn't seem like he's a curse bearer. But that doesn't mean he has no connections to the recent curses. He knew about the 7 mysteries. He even guessed we have a curse stone of our own. Excuse me? I tried to approach Takumi about a fallen item after I ran into him last night, however. You said your name was Richter, correct? I have a favor I'd like to ask of you. I'm hoping you would hand over the curse stone in your possession. Curse stone? What are you talking about? What are you on about? There's no need to play dumb with me. In fact, there's no time for it. I had all the same reason you did to think you were a curse bearer last night. And your arrival here only confirms it. You're a curse bearer, no? You're right. We lack time. I'll confess, I am a curse bearer. I possess the curse stone of the haunting clappers. I'm glad to hear the truth. Finally, this conversation is worthwhile. It is a dangerous item you hold. Give it to me. My company will take the responsibility to dispose of it. I didn't know the soap business specialized in scrubbing curses clean. It is the prerogative of Miss Yamamori. Is that so? Assuming you've obtained the curse, you understand the power it involves, no? Miss Yamamori possesses supernatural powers akin to those of God. She also has a deep love for this land, having transformed it from the pile of dirt it once was to the home of our headquarters. She cannot stomach the fact that it's now the site of these curses run rampant. So you're telling me the Queen of Hihaku is a real-life witch? She wouldn't appreciate being called that, mind you. There's a sorcerer by the name of Suigen Gamyodo who's gallantly working behind the scenes, exorcising spirits and the like. Go on. That being so, there have already been instances of the dead coming back to life. Do you understand the urgency of this matter? These are curses we're speaking of, tools which are used by wicked beings to possess people. The rite of resurrection is nothing but a fabrication meant to seduce the curse bearers into unspeakable action. If you truly understand what I'm talking about, you must hand over that curse stone at once. Very interesting. With that said, just how many curse stones have you acquired so far? If what you tell me is true, surely the company would have launched a large-scale search by now. We have 6. 6? Oh, we can rest at ease then. And here I thought I was at risk of being cursed. It seems we are on the same page. If that is the case, you should hand over your curse stone immediately. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but it's not actually in my possession at the moment. Considering its importance, I've been keeping it hiding. Really now? Then I will accompany you while you retrieve it. I'm sorry, but I've got something important to attend to, but I promise I'll return with it later. Very well. Then you won't refuse to provide your address and telephone number, I presume? How prudent of you, I'll oblige. Do they really have 6 stones? And that's how it went. So they aren't after the right after all? I wouldn't be so quick to trust him. Oh. I believe we're dealing with a master in deception. He may well have made up a story to convince us to part ways with our stone. I think he was lying about having procured 6 curse stones as well. Like, really? 6? That's excessive. Well, now I feel gullible. The company is plotting something. I wonder what they mean to do with the curse stones. He seemed rather desperate to get a hold of ours, despite us not having collected any soul dregs. Perhaps the people at Hihaku are the masterminds behind the curses being unleashed. Because the chairwoman's a witch? I wonder about that too. If she really were that powerful, would her secretary have divulged that information so casually? Takumi was either making it up as he went, or he's trying to spread a rumor. What purpose would he do that? Recently, people have been caught up about the cult more than ever before. Word spreads that Hihaku's chairwoman has godlike powers. She could very well benefit socially and politically from that mystique. That's unsettling. How interesting that the queen of Hihaku, or the witch, whatever she is trying to get her hands on the right of resurrection. It's like some kind of dark fairy tale. Regardless of what is or isn't true, we must stay one step ahead. By the way, there's one more thing of interest I heard while in the company's reception lobby. And what's that? People were discussing whether one of the bodies found this morning was that of a Hihaku employee. Really? Really? So long as the officials haven't revealed the identity, it all amounts to no more than speculation though. Despite that, I have reason to believe Hihaku Soaps is deeply involved with the Seven Mysteries. At the very least, I can assure you I've gathered that much. The more we know, the better our negotiations will go on. We should avoid Hihaku for the time being. It will be a pain if I have to deal with Takumi again. Alright. Yeah, one person has initiated this whole ritual. I wonder if it's the chairwoman of Hihaku Soaps after all or not. If she is apparently this powerful. Yeah. And last but not least, the Komagata High School. Here we are at Ground Zero to Komagata High School. I guess it's logical that the police got this place shut down. The teacher's body was found here after all. It's as if the students have nowhere to go now that the school's closed. Let's look around a little bit. Is there any sticker to discover? I don't think so. 2 people have died. A teacher named Kohei Junoishi and a student Michio Shirishi. Is there anything else to be gained here? The news has attracted a bunch of curious onlookers, huh? That works in our favor. The more people around, the better we can blend in. True, Richter. School gates. School gates. It seems the officers are still inspecting the scene. Entry has been strictly prohibited. He appears to be wary of those police officers. Maybe the police really do have something against private investigators, just like in those detective novels. This place is said to be connected with the story of the Fool's Procession. I wouldn't be surprised if a curse bearer decided to turn up. However, I need to find out if their teacher was a curse bearer or not. I expect the police to be baffled, since they don't know about the curses. I can ask around and see what the students have to say. Look elsewhere. The students are bound to know more about Michio. Well, if you change your mind, just let me know. Okay, fine. Inquire. Alright, I'll go ask the students about Michio. I'm back, ma'am. So what did you learn? That school kids sure love a good rumor. I was practically drowning in stories about Mr. Junoichi and Michio, most of which seemed dubious at best. Not surprising. Most of what I've heard was hardly worth a second thought. But there was one story that caught my attention. Oh? Some believe that Michio is the one who killed Mr. Junoichi. Really? The story's got 2 pieces of evidence to back it up. One of them wasn't news to me. Apparently, he's been mumbling that Michio was going to kill him for some days now. A fellow teacher overheard his mumbling and told the students. And then it spread like wildfire, I suppose. Rumors that Juicy don't stay a secret for long. And for the other piece of evidence, a pigtailed girl in a school uniform was seen around school late last night. So this is Yako, but possessed by Michio. Go on. Although numerous people claim to have seen the girl, not one of them saw her face. Some are proposing it was Michio brought back to life, or that it was her vengeful spirit. But it's not like Michio's the only high school girl to wear pigtails. This rumor might have been made up just to fan the flames. But if it were true, I'd want to get a hold of her in order to hear her side of the kidnapping. If she's alive, that would be ideal. There's still one more thing I should mention. I discovered there where Michio lived, a student had a list of student addresses on hand. That's an amazing find. I believe all of the students actually have a copy of said list. It truly worries me how easy it was to obtain what should be confidential information. Imagine what would happen if that information got into the wrong hands. Well, so far it hasn't, no? Sure, let's hope it stays that way. In the meantime, it's now possible for us to visit Michio Shiroishi's house. Is that so? I can imagine the students are uneasy after learning of the murder. It may do them well to stay home for some time, if not for fear of their safety. The police are probably too wrapped up in solving the case to be concerned about the students' mental health. I can see that. It's important. Some school, that's right. I expect criminals. Wait, is this a different text now? Yeah. Oh. It's important that society provides a safe environment for the benefit of our youth. Some school policies could use some rewriting, especially those handling the students' personal information. That's right, I don't want a student being kidnapped on their way back home ever again. I expect criminals to grow more cunning as time passes. There may be times where the authorities can't keep up. That's where outlaws such as myself come in. What's this about? Ah, actually, just forget I said anything. Okay. Michio's home. I would expect her family might be able to tell us more about. It's a hard topic to bring up so soon after her suicide. However, it's normal for a high school girl to keep things hidden from her parents, especially if it involves criminal activity. Well, not like they were on a good standing anyway, so I don't know. And a new location, Michio Shiroishi's house. Jesus Christ. Near the Shiroishi household. This is a very long chapter. How did it go? I went to visit Michio Shiroishi's family home, however, no one seemed to be there. I got no answer at the door, and all the lights were out. It seems to have been empty for a while now. There was a stack of newspaper out front. Think. I don't understand why no one's come to this house, even after Michio committed suicide. I wonder if this place is okay. Any bird? No. It's a bit quieter over here. It is a residential area after all. All these rundown row houses really scream working class, don't they? I've never liked these messy and cluttered back streets. They give me the jitters every time. It's reassuring to have someone as strong and tall as Richter accompanying me, the detective extraordinaire. He looks so unfazed. I suppose the detective is used to this kind of thing, always investigating and chasing criminals. I wouldn't be cut out for it. Social connections run deep in working class areas like this place, so I decided to talk to the locals. I met a few nice old ladies who were kind enough to give me the scoop. Turns out the Shiroishi's reputation really went down the dumps this past year. Is that so? I'll give you the quick summary. They moved here about 3 years ago. Their previous residence was in a better part of town. Michio's father died in a car accident, leaving behind just the two of them. Michio's mom, Toshiko, now a single mother, relocated here. At first they got along with their neighbors, many of which were in similar situations, helping and being helped in turn. So far so good. What happened? Well, as I said, their reputation began to go downhill about a year ago. A man recognized as Toshiko's common-law husband had moved into the household. His name was apparently Kankichiro Iwai. Neighborhood gossip is something else. Somehow everyone knew his name. So what of this Iwai character? He was apparently a vulgar fellow with a criminal record. He was prone to violent outbursts. The neighbors often heard screams and shouting coming from the home. The neighbors took particular notice of Toshiko's screams, pleading with him to not hit Michio. That's terrible. As if that wasn't unsettling enough, every night the neighbors also began to hear an eerie chanting. Through this, the Shiroishi standing in the neighborhood plummeted rapidly. Toshiko was often seen covered in bruises and wounds. She stopped responding to her neighbors. She would just turn the other way when greeted. They kept the storm shutters closed even during the day and effectively shut themselves away from the entire community. That sounds horrible. Why didn't the police step in and do something? Unfortunately, under our current laws, the police aren't allowed to get involved with domestic disputes. That's awful. And then Michi reportedly killed herself. Things only got worse with Iwai, and Toshiko was admitted to the hospital for physical and mental abuse. Ever since Iwai has returned to the home, many locals expressed sympathy for Michio's circumstances, but just as many were fed up with the Shiraishis entirely and seemed relieved that things finally quieted down again. It seems that they were still considered outsiders even after 3 years of living here. I don't understand it. Why would Toshiko have gotten involved with such a brutish good-for-nothing in the first place? I've heard many stories where one partner's personality does a complete turn after entering a relationship. Is this true? Chat, do you know about this one? This would really pique my interest. After her first husband's death, Toshiko's financial situation had also taken a turn for the worse. She was determined to send her daughter to a good high school. It's possible she fell victim to sweet promises. Life can be tough, I suppose. You don't seem moved by the story, Mayhem. That's fine. People have all kinds of stories. Kan Kichiro Iwai. Male, unemployed. The common law husband of Michio Shiraishi's mother, Toshiko Shiraishi. Kan Kichiro started coming and going from the Shiraishi household a little over a year ago. It seems he has served some time in prison, but the details are unknown. Sokuda! Oh, so you came here too. Huh? What is it? Is it? Yeah, Ario and Tsutsumi. Ah. Could you repeat what you know one more time for me, Richter? And now their paths cross each other. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Holy crap, this was a long episode. Well, thank you for tuning in again. I will definitely need to rest for my voice now, and I will see you later as always. Bye bye.